Hey guys, happy Friday. It's July 3rd and we're almost ready for the weekend. Yes, the holiday. But I wanted to make sure that we actually did an interview today. And I'm really excited because we have a doctor who I've been talking to for a couple weeks. And her name is Dr. Alexia McClerkin. And she is from Houston, Texas. She's been very busy this week. She has a new medical spa launching in Houston, and I'm really excited to talk with her today. She's also a chiropractor too, so she's going to be talking to us all things within the medical realm of that space, and we're excited to have her on today. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited. Sorry, you might hear my kiddo in the background. Thank you, 4th of July. They closed the daycare. So,
Oh,
yes.
wow. That's busy. Well, I know you've had a really, really busy week, and I just wanted to learn a bit more about you because I do follow you on Instagram, and I saw that yesterday you posted some of your construction that's going on. So tell us what you've been up to, and we'd love to learn more about your medical spa that you're opening.
Thank you. So on Tuesday, we closed the doors to our former practice, and right, they're still doing the construction and the build out on our new place, which will hopefully, fingers crossed, we should be up and running by next week. So we'll be doing chiropractic as well as opening med spa too. Also, a lot of people don't know that I'm a nurse as well. So that way, I'll be able to start implementing the IV drips. We'll be doing vaginal and anal rejuvenation. We'll also be doing, let me see, Botox, chemical peels, and laser hair removal. And then starting in the fall, we'll be offering hormone pellets.
Oh, it sounds like you're a busy mom. Do you want to have your little one say hi?
Yeah, come here, Carter. You want to say hi? Come here. Come say hi.
Your mommy's doing an interview.
Yeah, we're doing an interview, and they can hear you.
Oh, he's so sweet.
Thank you. Look. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go.
Let's see his little
Okay.
face.
Now
Oh.
go. Now go find Daddy. Thank you, sir.
Yes, let's keep busy with Daddy for a bit. So you
Yes.
you have a lot going on, so I really appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely,
Having us, I should say.
absolutely. And why don't you share a bit with us about why you decided to become a doctor and really just a bit more about your background in medical.
Okay, so I've been a chiropractor for the past 8 years, and I decided to be a chiropractor because I always wanted to be a surgeon. But then once I got to Michigan State, and I realized, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in school forever. So I had to figure out a way to still be able to be a doctor, and also my passion of being able to work with athletes. So when I'm after I graduated from Michigan State, I started working for a chiropractor. I'm like, what? I got a best of both worlds. I could be a chiropractor and do physical therapy. So that's where that came into play.
That's really neat. And you're obviously hi, little one. You're obviously taking this next step in your journey of medicine and opening the medical spa. So if you can tell us, what led you to want to do that step precisely?
So when I was after I graduated from chiropractic school, I was having difficulty finding a job, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could do something on the side to try to bring in more revenue. I was like, what if I do Botox? Well, come to find out, chiropractors we cannot do Botox. You can't penetrate the skin. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to go to nursing school just to, be able to do that. But nursing had always been in the back of my mind. So in 2017, I went on ahead and pulled the trigger and applied to nursing school and got in. Um, and I have absolutely no regrets for doing it because I've learned so much being a nurse, and it complements my chiropractic background. So with that, I was like, you know what? I'm into beauty and I love, helping people. So why not combine the two and do like a chiro fusion and have your ultimate self-care destination with chiropractic, massage, and all your beauty treatments in one place. And you don't have to go. So when you have your self-care Saturday or self-care Friday, you got to go to this location and do this and this location and do that. You do everything in one spot, spend the whole day, come out feeling amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I like that idea a lot. And with COVID, what are some of the new things that you guys are going to be practicing in terms of having people come in? Is there any type of protocols that you will be doing?
So with COVID, we'll be limiting our visits. So instead of having the usual open schedule, we'll only be scheduling just a few people per hour, and everyone has to have a mask. And before, people were allowed to bring, family members to come see their services or just come to sit with them. We're not allowing that, and obviously no kids. So yes, hey, please go with your dad. And we were already doing the barbicide cleaning, like cleaning all the tables between every patient, wearing gloves and things like that. So now we'll just be implementing more, but limiting the amount of people that come in, and also masks are a requirement.
Yeah, and I know that also on your Instagram that you talk about being a celebrity chiropractor. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how you kind of got that title?
That has been awesome and amazing for me. So it started out with me working when I was in chiropractic school. I was working with a lot of athletes, and then a lot of them ended up going to the Olympics that year. And then it eventually, I joined a team a few years ago, and whenever there's concerts that come in town, mostly concerts, then they'll call me and I will go work on those the singers or performers that come into town.
Mhm. That's awesome. And so was that like an exciting moment within your career, or do you feel like celebrities are just like regular people like you and I?
Definitely. Some of them, they can be a little bit standoffish, so it's just kind of like boom, boom, boom. Okay, thank you, bye. And then there's others that were like amazing. And then there was one who I was super excited to meet. I didn't know that that's who I was going to be working with until I got there, and I was like, oh my God, he was super down to earth. So actually, we still kind of keep in touch sometimes. And then when he's in town, he gets worked on.
Yeah, that's amazing. And with the new medical spa, you're going to be doing Botox and all these other type of service lines. What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about the IV drips because I've always wanted to do it. And then I've also always wanted to try it. So when I tried it, I was like, oh, wow, yes, this is amazing. And then it's like instant relief because people don't realize when you take your vitamins through your mouth, you don't absorb them as readily as you would with the IV, which it goes directly into your bloodstream, and your body doesn't have to go through the whole process of going through the gut and all the other stuff. And then you lose part of your vitamins too with taking it through your mouth because you excrete it in your urine. So I'm super excited about that. And then also the Botox. That's another thing I'm really excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are you guys doing in order to like get the word out and promoting the new practice? When does it open? Tell us details.
So we will be officially launching August 1st. And what we've been doing lately to get the word out is a lot of social media posts. And then the biggest thing that's helped a lot is telling my patients, like, hey, we've got the med spa coming. We're offering a special just for the patients. And then please tell your friends. And once you tell your friends, they'll get the same offer that you get for the first time for their first visit. So that's helped a lot. We've already booked 10 people just off of that alone.
Oh, wow. And just again, this is a totally new journey for you. So, how do you feel doing a new journey in a pandemic?
So I listen, when I tell you I've been running hot and cold throughout this entire time, like, oh my God, why am I doing this? Should I still do this? No, oh, it's fine. We'll go ahead and do it. And then, I mean, every day it's a different range of emotions. This past week has been the first time I've gone through level-headed emotions, like, okay, it's going to be fine. And then I just got approved for my PPP, so that's great. So that'll help float me as well. But one thing I can say is throughout the pandemic in April, it was very slow for me. And then May and June picked up, and we just took off out of nowhere. So by us really speaking on the importance of chiropractic and helping with the immune system, and then also helping with your body in general, from people that are working from home, having to sit a lot, it's going to help. And then the immune boosting IV drips, that's going to definitely help bring in revenue for us.
Absolutely. And what would you say the hardest part about being a woman entrepreneur has been?
Oof, the hardest part of being a woman entrepreneur would be being a mother, and trying to find that work-life balance because for men it's easier for them to just say, "Hey, honey, I'm going to go, work extra hours at the office, or I'm going to go do this or do that." Whereas with me, we got to kind of, you got to be that nurturing for the kids. You got to make sure that they're getting their homework done. Make sure that you're not just coming home and locking yourself in the room and trying to get charts done and things like that. Another thing is I feel like it's been a little bit more difficult getting funding compared to my male counterparts.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think there's a lot of women-based organizations to be able to help us, but it can be difficult at times. So that's exciting that you were able to get the PPP loan. So congratulations on that. Sounds like it was really well deserved.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I just have a couple more questions. So I know that you also are a mom, and I saw on your Instagram that right away you did, I believe it was a bodybuilding, situation. Can you tell us a little bit more about being an athlete too?
So, I really didn't start being an athlete per se until I was pregnant with my second son, the one that just left out of here. When I was pregnant with him, I did over 20 races, including half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, triathlons. And ironically, but prior to being pregnant with him, I hadn't done anything more than 5K. So that was exciting for me. So it was my first time doing a triathlon, first time doing a half marathon. And just me having that momentum and seeing how well my body felt afterwards, it's where I really grew the love for it. And since then, I've done 6 half marathons and I've done 3 other triathlons since having him. Unfortunately, because of COVID, all the races have been canceled. So it's kind of slowed me down some, but I still take time to, go out in the mornings and on Sundays and Saturdays, I do my long runs. And then we do our family walks every evening, 2 to 3 miles.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm actually like new to running, and of course, I sprained my toe this week, not from
Oh
running,
my
but
God.
being a klutz. But I definitely have been new to running on concrete because obviously none of the gyms are open here in Chicago either. Do you have any tips for beginners or just kind of like getting your body moving?
The biggest thing that I would say, especially for someone that's getting ready to start running, is your shoes. You've got to look at your shoes, and then you've got to and I do a lot of gait analysis. I wish you were here so we could do a gait analysis with you.
That'd be so fun.
Um, but what I do is I check the bottom of the person's feet first, and then I show them their shoes. I'm like, this is where you're wearing on your shoes. So you need to get a shoe that is either good for who people that overpronate like myself, or someone who supinates, and that means when the foot goes the opposite direction, or someone that has a high arch, a low arch. Like there's so many biomechanics to it. And another thing that I tell people, because a lot of times they think that their pain is coming from their feet and or their back, or they're like, oh my God, my back hurts so bad. And a lot of times it's coming from the feet. So that's why we definitely want to check the shoes. And then making sure that you're stretching. So stretching really good and stretching your glutes, because if your glutes aren't firing and you have bad shoes, that could cause shin splints and it could cause injuries and then knee pain. And you got to make sure that you're very careful with running on cement because it really wears down your body quickly.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've been actually like just having trouble like breathing properly. That's been a huge struggle, and I've been trying to like read some, running blogs or just figure out like the proper way to breathe. And I don't know why it just seems like such a struggle. But when I was 18, I feel like I could run, and now it's just it's interesting.
So the breathing is a big part of it, because when you are not breathing properly, you use up so much energy and you wear out quicker, and then you're not able to really finish your run like you want to. So one thing that I definitely recommend people doing is breathing into your nose, out through your mouth as you're running, out through your mouth, and then always in through the nose, out through the mouth until you can get to the point where you're just strictly nose breathing while you're doing your run, because you don't expend as much energy.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And I know that you obviously are chiropractors. So, what do people usually come to you specifically for? Actually, for me growing up, I used to go to a chiropractor about 3 times a week because I had a really bad scoliosis growing up.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, I'm very familiar with it. I did eventually opt to have the spinal fusion surgery. when I was 19. But I did have a lovely chiropractor who helped me 3 times a week. We would do a machine where they roll your back. And then I did have a heel lift in my shoe that was like this thick because the
Mhm.
curvature of my spine was about 43 degrees lumbar. So I'm
Oh,
definitely familiar with back pain and how that works. So, how do you service your patients? I know that your work is so important.
so it goes through seasons. So like some weeks I have a lot of ankles or some weeks I have a lot of knees. 2 weeks ago I had literally 5 people come in for shoulder pain and sometimes it's neck or back. It just depends. But for everybody, what I do is we do an individualized treatment plan. So each person that comes in may not have the same treatment plan as the next person. And I do dry needling, cupping, laser therapy, Graston. The dry needling and the laser are the fan favorites. Like everybody comes in for that. And the dry needling is so cool because it's the exact same needle as an acupuncture needle. However, it's not the exact same method of treatment. So what we do is we go in and we manipulate the muscle and help break up any scar tissue or adhesions. And like my patients get instant relief and they notice like, oh wow, I can move my shoulder from instead of when I came in I was only here and now I'm all the way up to here. So it's exciting. And then the laser kind of helps it out by also going a little penetrating a little bit deeper to help break up those scar tissue and adhesions, and then also helping to bring blood flow to the area to decrease pain and then also improve the healing time.
What would you say to someone who's nervous to try cupping or some of these newer developments in medicine that you're doing?
For the cupping, I say that I tell my patients, I'm like, this one, that's probably the easiest thing that you're gonna do compared to in addition to the laser, those two. So the biggest thing that people will notice with the cupping is that they will bruise. They'll have the round circles, especially depending on how much tightness and tension is under there that we're having to work through. So that one, I was like, don't, it's okay. It just feels like somebody's kind of pulling on you a little bit. Now the dry needling, I tell people what I do is I overhype it all the time. I'm like, it's gonna hurt a lot, but don't worry, you're gonna feel so much better afterwards. And then even for areas that don't hurt as much, like the glute, I tell them like, okay, it's gonna hurt, but I'm not gonna tell you when the needle is going in. And then they're like, oh, that didn't even hurt that bad. I like to run like little psychological things on them, so that way it'll help. But and they're like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
And do you see a wide variety of patient ages and demographics, or would you say more people come to you versus another?
I would say I see a wide variety with regards to from I don't see too many smaller children, but I see a lot of teenagers and teenage athletes all the way up to around 65. And I've even had some patients in their 70s, but usually my demographics are from, I would say, 12 to about 65. My youngest patient right now, he just turned 10, and we've been working on his heel. He's got Sever's disease. So we've been doing laser on him.
And once you have been doing a multitude of treatments for a while with a patient, what is usually the aftermath of that? Like, what's that aha moment where they are very grateful that you were able to help them feel better? How does that feel as a doctor?
Oh my God, it's amazing. Especially my athletes when they're like, I ran this race this weekend, or I played in this game and I was able to shoot X amount of baskets with absolutely no pain, or I PR'd. So when they tell me that stuff, or my runners, my Olympians and stuff, and they show me their medals or that they've broken world records, like that is my why. That's like this is why I do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like you love helping others.
Yes, I do.
Well, I loved having you on today, and I really appreciate it. Where can we find you if we're not already following you on Instagram? And give a little shout to your website and where we can find you.
So I'm on Instagram, sports and wellness doc, and that's sports and wellness doc. Also, my website is sportsandwellnessdoc.com. And if you got any questions or running questions or just injury tips, you can email me info@sportsandwellnessdoc.com. That's info@sportsandwellnessdoc.com. I'm pretty good with replying to emails. As long as I'm not like crazy busy. And even sometimes you might get an email, I mean, a reply back at like 3 a.m. because I'm up working.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck with the construction, and congratulations on the launch of this new journey for yourself. So thank you so much for coming on, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.